always iterative, because every time we teach it, I always forget a couple of things the first time, and then I have to share them with you. So, hi Natasha.
Hi.
Get like ominous behind me. The first one is that in a real situation, whether you're doing body lock passing or, like I said, like the no man's land where Natasha's coming to hold me down and I stop her with my elbow. In the beginning, I might be like really uncomfortable, have my hand on my chest and feeling really contracted. I don't want to maintain this position. I want to imagine, so now we're going to shift analogies. Natasha said that instead of nuts, we can say it's a baby.
It's a baby. You're holding a baby.
I'm dropping it. That's not a good analogy.
Never held on.
Rid of that kid.
So whatever you care more about, whether it's your food or your child, is what you want to have in your house. All right? What? Come on back. Don't give me that look. Don't give me that judgmental look. All right? My hands palm up. Put your hand over here. Put my foot on the floor. And I want you guys to slide away and get that shin under you. Notice, it's always I don't want you to get your shin under you when you're on your elbow. Gaining height is also super important. So while I'm on my elbow, if I try to take my knee under, I'm gonna get smashed and I'm gonna fail. Because of the fact that she has active pressure. Later in the class, no, not this class, different class. In the future, there's a way that you can get away with having her on the floor, but not when she's loaded. Up on my hand, I must put my foot flat on the floor. I see a lot of you guys putting your arch on the floor, and this is just asking for you to strain your knee. It's just a very unathletic position. It's very uncomfortable. The only time I would do this is if Natasha was not chasing me. Like if I start sliding away, Natasha stays back there, I would use this to loop my foot and get a butterfly hook in here, and now I can replace guard. So it's always, everything I do is like a jab and a cross. So either I'm gonna just, either I know Natasha's chasing me, I ask myself this key question. Do I feel pressure? Do I feel Natasha trying to crush me, drive into me? If the answer is yes, the cue is to rise into space. So I am rising, getting taller into space, getting my head higher than her head. Because once my head's higher than her head, now I can lean on her. I like to say the person on top has the right to wield gravity. And that's an amazing superpower in jiu-jitsu. You can say just stay on top, and that kind of like, oh yeah, just stay on top. But like it's like you're a fucking magician. I'm wielding gravity. Like it gives you a massive advantage simply because my head's higher than hers. Back here, when I was on my shoulder, Natasha's wielding gravity to crush me. And this sucks, right? This is not fun. And as I rise and get to neutral with her, now no one's really wielding gravity, we're lateral. Once I get over here, now my head's actually a little taller than her because my torso is a little bit longer than hers. So I'm kind of wielding gravity. If she was a giant like 6'4" or something, her head might still be higher than mine and she might still be in more of a neutral position. But once I get my knee under me, once I post on this and get now, we're gonna enter a new analogy where if you guys ever remember the old nursery rhyme about being a little teapot, right? I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Have you heard that one, right? When you're like in kindergarten? Except the fact that like you have a handle, like here's my handle, this is my spout on the floor. I gotta pick my spout up, but I'm not gonna pour the tea. You're like a messed up teapot. You're gonna actually like deny them their tea. You're gonna actually tilt the other way. All right, and this is how we're gonna do our first throw. All right, I'm leaning my elbow on them. This is my handle, this is my spout, but I'm gonna take my handle and grab her arm. And then I'm gonna take my leg and trap and block her leg, just like Tayatoshi in judo. I come here and then the world's slowest Tayatoshi. A reason why it's purposely slow. If you send it like you're doing judo, you will get a beautiful ippon like you're doing judo, and you'll end up on bottom. Because that extra power will be re-rolled by Natasha. So I'm right here and I'm like, oh yeah, and I go, wow! I'm right back where I started. This was a waste of my time. All right, so don't send it. You don't need as much as you think you do. Because the reason why I love this thing that I've chose to name butt judo is that we're cheating. By annoying my partner and making them chase me, they're kazushiing themselves. The definition of kazushi that's often used is off balancing. But the real definition of kazushi is off balancing to the point of no return. And that extra bit at the end is the key bit. She so wants me to be on the floor that she has gotten to the point of no return, so I don't have to pull her any further. I just have to do the throw, and she falls. And that's why I can do these throws so slow, and it almost feels stupid that you get to giggle inside, right? So give it a try with your partner. We'll show it another time. Natasha, you want to do it to me this time?
Sure.
right.
Yeah, right. Da-da-da-da.
From here, she pummels her elbow inside.
Make sure my legs are out because I usually tend to like to put my legs in. All right, so we're here. Da-da-da. Here, here. It's really, really easy, honestly. Like even as a smaller person, to just move them because it's gravity, it's
But
physics.
remember, do I feel pressure? If they're not chasing you, right? Come back.
Yeah.
If I'm just sitting back here, like this, and Natasha gets up, keep doing the exact same thing. Keep sliding away, and she's here. It's not gonna be easy for her because I'm so stretched out. It's far better. In this moment, she might have to pull me a little bit, or because she can put her foot between my legs, she can do other things, right? There's other moves she can do because I didn't chase her. But the more that I circle behind her, the more that I'm gonna fall easily. Their desire to have your back is their undoing. All right, guys? 1, 2.
It's easier to hold a hand that's gripping onto you, by the way.
Is the one where you put your foot there where you reach around behind you?
Know that I would
I'll be back in a minute.
really good questions, and we're gonna talk about it. Go ahead.
So we had a lot of questions about legs and how you can do this throw, and depending on where your leg goes, then it's a different name for it than a language that Carl speaks and I don't.
Oh yeah,
So,
Japanese.
not that. I'm talking about just judo.
So,
Oh.
Just judo itself. I know you understand chess. All right, so we're here. So there we go. There we go. All right, so we're here. And so as we keep driving, and we're here, right? Chest is still down. We get up. So I like to end up grabbing the arm and then moving my leg. And I like to get into this spot right here. So Charles has the name for that.
so it's Koshi-Guruma, which I'm just relating it to the nature though, because the name Koshi just means hip, Guruma means wheel, hip wheel. We're not actually doing a hip wheel because we're on the floor, but we're relating it to the way the throw is usually taught. Koshi-Guruma is usually taught standing up as a head and arm throw. I'm just gonna do it to you real soft, I promise. And so in judo, standing up, these two throws are right next door to each other. Tayatoshi is mainly considered a hand throw, and you would come here, you would slide in really close, step your leg out, and then you would pop Natasha and she would come over as I'm pushing and pulling my arms like this, usually with your hand, but there are variants you can do with your elbow like what we're doing. Koshi-Guruma, on the other hand, is more of a hip throw, Koshi meaning hip. I come in really tight like this, I step my hips across like this, and then I would stand and Natasha would come over, right? As she does not like being thrown, she's clinging to me like a koala bear, all right? So, but just showing you how they're related. You can do both throws. Pretty much any rear throw in judo, as your opponent wheels behind you and off balance yourself, is on the table. I'm showing you a few in 1 hour. I don't have enough time to show you. Judo has 40 official throws and 30 or 40 more unofficial throws. Too much. So the key thing I wanted to share, oh yeah, the version that I was doing, yes, to finish the thought, up to my elbow, out to my hand. Biggest, most important point, actually I can talk about it right now. Does everyone see my knee and my hip? In this moment, my knee should never be directly under my hip. If it is, and Natasha drive into me, I fall right back down. Instead, I want to have my knee outside of my hip to make what's called a bracing angle, so that when she pushes into me, nothing happens, because the power goes into my knee, into the mat, and I have, just think like a bridge. Bridges aren't like this, they're like that. So as she drives into me, I'm here, I have my hand helping too, but I have to have the courage to give up that hand, get tall and lean on her, taking her off balance, acquiring the arm, and now having the option to either do the Tayatoshi version. I can also kick her leg and do like a Harai Goshi as well, her leg's out there, kicking it, and also doing a throw. Notice I'm a very big fan of putting my hand to the mat, not just to be kind to Natasha, but to stop myself from being re-rolled. I lose a little bit of control of her, but I don't want to get re-rolled. I was just being smashed by her. I don't want to get smashed again. All right, thank you so much.
Do the leg one where that you just showed that group, please.
Oh, the one right here. So I'm coming in here, holding tight,
Yeah.
and dropping the knee. What are you talking about? Koshi-Guruma?
The one that you just showed this group that we were both covering.
Oh, the straight leg. Oh yeah. So the detail about
And how
keeping your
to
leg safe.
move that.
Oh, this is why I love having you here. All right. So I'm hugging, I can hug with my arm here or with the elbow, but the key detail is look at this toe. So for Tayatoshi, in the beginning when I'm here and I'm leaning on her, it's kind of like that. I'm gonna turn to the ball of my foot and then begin straightening so Natasha will just roll right over my leg. Now, Natasha weighs less than me. I've made this work on people who weigh more than me, but there is a limit. I rolled with a guy in Iceland who weighs 365 pounds and is jacked and is a champion wrestler. I wouldn't do this to him. I wouldn't trust putting that human on my leg. But I still would do the frame. The frame did work on him. He's a great guy, and we love him. But there's always a limit, right? Jiu-jitsu is like, I always think of it like RPGs and video games. Jiu-jitsu is a multiplier of your base stats. But if their base stats are still way higher than your multiplied base stats, you still lose, right? If you're at 5 and they're at 20, and you have a times 3, 15 is still lower than 20, you still lose, all right? So now we're gonna dive in to the next one, that if they didn't chase you, right? Because last time we asked ourselves, did they give us pressure? If they don't, what do we do? So we're right here. Natasha is just lazy. She has her body lock, but she just thinks she won. She's like, I won, I passed your guard, I don't care. She has no desire to take your back or chase you, and she's just kind of lingering. So as I slide away, distance between my legs and her hips are gonna happen. I keep sliding away, I will find the ability to loop my foot and step on her calf. Whenever this happens, this means that I effectively have replaced guard. It's not a normal guard, right? I'm not doing a knee elbow escape. I'm not leading with my knee like we classically do, but it still counts. Still replace my guard. And this puts us in a position to do a judo throw called sumigaeshi. All right? I reach behind to her back arm, right? If I'm up with my hand, I just grab it. I reach to her armpit, and all I'm gonna do, keep my chest strong, is just lay on her arm. It's really, really important that I lay on her arm so that she can't get up. I'm not trying to pick her up and throw her super high. You can if you like style points, but just lay on the arm. Also know, because you're doing something with your hand behind your back, after you hit this move on someone, they will try to kill you because they feel like you're styling on them. So just know that. If your role's going chill and you want to stay chill, don't do this. It's gonna escalate. Even though you didn't hurt them, but they feel emotionally damaged, all right? So you grab it, you lay on the back, and we land like this. And now this is really, really important. We're gonna follow our same idea about moving into space. In this moment, it's gonna be really tempting to just try and roll on top of them and take them out. But if they're any good, they're gonna bridge too, and now we're in a scramble, and this is gonna be a complete waste of our time. Instead, we hold this arm that we're laying on with our hand.
And wrist lock there.
Hold this arm you're laying on really tight with your hand, and we're gonna thread this foot underneath this leg and turn over and always win this race. So I'm leaning, actually I'm gonna let go this way back. I hold the armpit really tight. And I come through and I lean forward. As Natasha drives into me, she will always lose this race because she can't stop my body from going into that space and turning chest down. Anytime you're in a scramble laying on your back, the person who wins is the first person to be chest down. The person who's chest up will always lose the scramble. All right? So we're both trying to get chest up. If we both go towards each other, it's just a mess. But instead, as we're coming, I thread and I win. Okay? So the entire move again. We're here, we have a partner who's choosing not to give us pressure. We're here, I don't feel pressure. So as I slide away, whoop, I get that butterfly stepping on the calf. I reach behind, grab the armpit, lay down on her arm. From right here, thread the needle into something. All right. Any questions? All right, sumigaeshi. 1, 2.
Feel that?
2, there we go. A 3. There we go.
Come on now.
I mean, mental illness is a problem in the United States, right?
Isn't it though?
He's putting his knee back on. He's like, hey, actually. All right, so what we're gonna do now is, like I said, we don't have enough time for all, but I didn't mention kind of, you have something you want to talk about?
No, keep going.
I didn't mention the idea that sometimes this fails, right? Sometimes they pass your elbow. And that's where we have our next layer of butt judo, which is gonna be the Seoi Nage throw or the Kataguruma. Seoi Nage is shoulder throw, Kataguruma is a fireman's carry, but these.
I thought we were gonna do the donkey one.
We can do that one. You want to do that one first? All right, instead of that, we're going to go into the Uchimata, which Natasha loves, before we dive into things fail. So things didn't fail. Forget about that. You're never going to fail. You're superstars, all right? So we're coming back, and Natasha's going to teach this. This is her move.
So imagine this. Imagine everyone's in Estonia right now, and there's like 4 times of you guys. There's like 300 students at once. And Charles had no idea that I had just demonstrated to a small group, which was Josh and his girlfriend Megan, who's going to be coming in today. And so then we gather everyone up and we're going to teach this. And he didn't know what I was about to do, which is, so you have this angle, right? You go in, yada yada, you have this. I have my legs, I don't need to create a lot of space to do this because my legs are short. I take advantage of that. So we're here, and then we go, ee-ah! And it turns into a donkey. So with 300 people, they all laughed. With a few, it's, you know.
You're trying to recreate the joke. You're trying to recapture the fire.
No, I'm not. So we're here, and what I'm doing is I'm having my leg in, and I just kick out, and I do that. I'm holding the rest of his body, obviously, but I wanted to emphasize what's going on with my leg underneath his body.
So the cool thing about this is that once you're good at this, you can also do this anytime you're in a dogfight, right? Because everyone's ever been in that wrestle up situation with a dogfight. That's why I kind of like that, like wrestling up is becoming more and more popular, and I've chosen to like kind of take the judo side of things, and they mesh together quite nicely. So you've probably been in this scenario, hop up to your knee, Natasha, where you're wrestling up, but instead of having this elbow frame, they'll have a wizard. Exact same scenario. But you don't have to stay here. The reason why Natasha's so strong here is that she's not just kicking back, she's also driving off her foot. Go ahead, toss me. And as I'm coming up, that's how it's gonna be.
I let go.
So in my experience, can I switch and be
Yes,
the
please.
person doing it? If you're playing it off of a wizard situation in the dogfight, if this is a wrestler who's actually a wrestler, not just a jiu-jitsu wrestler, they're just gonna be better because they have more experience at it. And I find that I can't get away with it on the knee. I did it on the knee for years and years. If I can get this arm, I can. But in the dogfight scenario, you don't have the arm. The reason why we have the arm in our scenario is that they were body locking us. Because they were body locking us, they're sacrificing balance for control. Anytime someone has something really strong on you, there's a cost. There's always a cost. This person is crushing your ribs and you feel like crap. Well, they're paying a cost. They're sacrificing their balance to make you feel like crap. So punish them for that balance that they've given up. What oftentimes really good people will do is as I get up and I'm coming, they'll put their hand down. So now this throw won't work as well because they have balance. So either I can reach over and take their arm back from them, or I have to kick harder, which I find standing up on these toes gives me that extra height to win. All right? So just take that all into account, that we have this specialized scenario that I'm teaching you guys off this elbow frame, but it always needs to relate back to your regular jiu-jitsu. Okay? So yeah, the shoulder throw is not gonna happen today because we're at time. Because we have open mat next, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of time to practice this Uchimata or donkey, if you wanna use Natasha's nomenclature. And go ahead. You
No, you're going to the roll over. There we go.
Oh, what do you mean? Alright, so we're right here. If we're pulling it in, you can still do the Uchimata off of here or here with the arm. It's easier because they're body locking you. If they're not body locking you, just the key detail for me is activating those toes and being willing to stand up. And making sure I don't go too far. I like adding in a knee slice and doing my thing from here. And because I like locks. Alright, give it a try real fast. I don't want to cut into your rolling time. So that's going to be the end of Butt Judo today. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. But what if we fail?
Huh? Yeah, if you fail, it's okay. I'll be around.